everyone, today I'm going to do something that I've never done before, which is an unboxing video, about the Legal Service Design Tool from Haptica that came all the way from Colombia. The Service Design Toolkit is made of 4 parts. It's 4 decks of cards: discovery, interpreting, co-creation, and prototyping. Let's go and see what's inside. Oh, these are really nice. There's UV lacquering, so shiny big numbers on each of these boxes. Really nice to the touch. So each deck starts with an instruction booklet, and for each of the 4 key phases there's a persona. So for research, for the discovery phase, it gives you the anatomy of an ethnographer, of an analyst. So how does an analyst look like? How a facilitator looks like. For co-creation and for prototyping, what's the anatomy of a designer. In each of these booklets there's an overview of how to use the cards from that deck. So most of them are come like this in a little poster, and there's always preparation, selection, and execution, more or less. It's always divided in 3. It breaks down for you each of these big steps in sub-processes, and it gives you an idea of how you can use these cards for different activities and what those activities are. Once again, it holds you hand by hand throughout the whole experience, so also in the card there's always an overview of the content, telling you how many cards of what type you can find. Each of the cards has the name and an introduction of the technique on one side, and then on the other side, more fine-grained instruction on how to deploy the technique. And at the very end, there's also small bibliography if you want to dig down more, or it tells you where those techniques come from. This is really crucial if you want to frame your projects and your challenges correctly. For example, the one on co-creation is really interesting because it gives you a blueprint on how you can create your own workshop. So your co-creation session or ideation session of sorts. So it starts from planning, it gives you tips on warming up, presenting back the analysis and the insights from your discovery and interpretation phase, all the exercises for ideation, and then aterrizar, I guess it's like landing in Spanish, so I guess that it's like the cool down, the opposite of warming up, and then prioritizing the ideas. In the bibliography of the co-creation section, there's even one paper of mine mentioned, so thank you very much for the shout out. I really like that there's a whole section on interpretation. Very often people think that design is just creativity or being divergent or abductive thinking, and we are not stressing enough how being analytical and also the phase of convergence is important, and I like that we have a fat full stack of techniques to do that. The prototyping deck is also very nice. It gives you a lot of techniques and tools you can use either to build your prototype or to ask questions about the prototype. For example, it gives you links to different tools like Autodraw or Typeform, and even Usability Hub, which is very nice. It's a place where you can do A/B testing or first clicks or heat maps of your digital prototypes, and you can recruit people from a wide sample if you don't have users that you can have access to. Something that perhaps is missing from this toolkit, but to be fair, it's also the biggest and most difficult part of prototyping, is some techniques on how you go about asking the questions, or what type of questions are good or bad in your prototyping and user research phases, and how you may analyze or distill that. But as I said, fair enough. It's quite complicated to chunk that activity down in just a stack of cards. All in all, I love this toolkit. It's extremely clear, it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's colorful. I really like to use it. I like how it chunks down all these activities in an extremely easy way. And I like that even if I'm not a Spanish speaker, because, spoiler alert, this toolkit is in Spanish, I could find my way around. So as a native speaker of the Italian language, I I could understand basically everything. So even if you don't speak Spanish, if you speak another Latin language, I would encourage you to get your hands on this toolkit anyway. You can get by. And what I didn't understand, I could easily translate with Google Translate. I like that this toolkit is playful. It's something that you can use as a book. You can just go through all these techniques and instructions all by yourself, or you can also use it in a more social environment. So you can organize a workshop where you can socialize it with your stakeholders and your colleagues if they don't know what legal design is. You can use it to do exercises on the go, so during the co-creation or ideation sessions. It's very pleasant, so there are different ways in which you can use it. I could imagine also using it with students to introduce them in when we finally can meet again face-to-face. I think it's a nice object to interact and have discussions and try out something together. So this was my little review of the Legal Service Design Toolkit by Haptica. So thank you, Angelica and team, for putting this precious resource together. I love it. And see you next time. I hope you like this video. Bye! If you have a legal design or contract design toolkit or any other resource, canvas, method that you're using, please get in contact with me. I'd love to have an opportunity to review it and get my hands on it, test it, and perhaps do a little video like this one.